You send a message to a friend on the other side of the world, and it arrives in seconds. You call it technology. I call it a magic trick. Forget wands and spells. The most powerful magic is the science hiding in plain sight. Today, we're revealing 5 technologies you use every day that are so advanced. They're basically magic. We're surrounded by miracles we've just gotten used to. We call them smartphones, medical scanners, and the internet. But the science behind them is so wild, it might as well be an enchantment. Today, we're exposing the unbelievable principles behind everyday technology that have completely changed our world. Get ready to have your definition of magic rewritten. Kicking things off at number 5 is the closest thing we've ever built to a global telepathy network, the internet. Think about it. You type a message, hit send, and in the blink of an eye, it materializes on a screen halfway around the world. You can have a real-time video chat with someone on another continent, their face and voice zipping across thousands of miles with almost no delay. If that isn't a form of telepathy, what is? We take it for granted, but we're literally sharing thoughts and ideas at the speed of light. So, how does this global spell actually work? Most people think satellites, right? Wrong. A staggering 99% of all international data travels not through the air, but through the deep ocean. The real magic is called fiber optics, and the spellbook is a planet-spanning network of over 1.3 million kilometers of undersea cables. Inside these cables, often no thicker than a garden hose, are threads of pure glass as thin as a human hair. Your data, your emails, videos, and your voice is converted into pulses of light. These light pulses then ricochet down these glass threads for thousands of miles, carrying an insane amount of information. A single one of these cables can carry hundreds of terabits per second, which is like streaming tens of millions of HD movies all at once. These cables lie on the ocean floor, sometimes as deep as Mount Everest is tall, laid by specialized ships in a slow, painstaking process that costs hundreds of millions of dollars. They have to be carefully routed to avoid coral reefs, shipwrecks, and underwater mountains. And to keep the signal from fading across entire oceans, devices called repeaters are placed every 70 kilometers or so to amplify the light, boosting it for the next leg of its incredible journey. So, next time you stream a movie or FaceTime a relative abroad, just remember the magic trick you're performing. You're casting a spell that sends your words and faces beams of light, shooting through glass threads at the bottom of the ocean, all to appear like a phantom on a device on the other side of the planet. Section 2. The Celestial Map. And Geostiu. And Denju. GPS. At number 4 is a piece of everyday magic so common, we get annoyed when it takes more than 3 seconds to work. The Global Positioning System, or GPS. The magic is obvious. A little device in your hand knows exactly where it is, anywhere on Earth. It can guide you through a foreign city you've never seen or pinpoint your location in the middle of a forest. It's an invisible, all-knowing map that follows you everywhere. For nearly all of human history, knowing your precise location was a monumental challenge. Today, we do it without a second thought. So how does this celestial map actually work? The secret isn't just one satellite, it's a whole constellation of them, at least 24, each one a hyper-accurate clock orbiting the Earth. Inside every GPS satellite is an atomic clock so precise it might lose only 1 second over millions of years. Each of these satellites is constantly broadcasting a simple signal down to us. It just says 2 things. I am satellite X, and the time I sent this was Y. Your phone's GPS receiver is always listening for these faint whispers from space. When your phone gets a signal, it notes the arrival time. Since the signal travels at the speed of light, your phone can calculate how far it is from that satellite based on the tiny delay. With one satellite, your phone knows it's somewhere on the surface of a giant, imaginary sphere. A second satellite narrows that down to the intersection of 2 spheres. With a third, you get 2 possible points. And with a fourth, your phone can pinpoint your exact location while also correcting for any tiny errors in your phone's own clock. But here's where the magic gets truly mind-bending. GPS flat out would not work without Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. According to Einstein, time can speed up or slow down depending on your speed and the strength of gravity. The GPS satellites are zooming along at 14,000 kilometers per hour, which makes their clocks tick about 7 microseconds slower every day than ours on Earth. But they're also 20,000 kilometers up, where Earth's gravity is weaker. This causes their clocks to tick about 45 microseconds faster each day. Combine the two effects, and you get a net difference of 38 microseconds daily. That sounds like nothing, but if engineers didn't pre-correct the clocks to account for this, GPS would be off by about 10 kilometers every single day. Your magical map would be useless. So every time you use GPS, you're tapping directly into one of the most profound discoveries about the nature of space and time ever made. Coming in at number 3 is a technology that gives doctors a truly magical power: magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI. The magic here is the power to see the unseen. An MRI machine lets doctors look directly inside your body with stunning clarity: your brain, your heart, your muscles, your organs, all without making a single cut. It's like having X-ray vision, but for soft tissue, generating detailed 3D images that can reveal problems that would otherwise be completely hidden. It's a non-invasive window into the living human body. The secret behind this medical oracle isn't a crystal ball, it's physics, specifically, a principle called nuclear magnetic resonance. Your body is mostly water, and water molecules contain hydrogen atoms. These atoms are basically tiny, spinning protons that act like microscopic magnets, all pointing in random directions. When you slide into an MRI machine, you're being placed inside a ridiculously powerful magnet, thousands of times stronger than a fridge magnet. This intense magnetic field forces all those little protons in your body to stop their random dance and align in the same direction, like tiny compass needles, all pointing north. Then, the machine zaps your body with a pulse of radio waves. This pulse is perfectly tuned to knock those aligned protons out of position. When the pulse shuts off, the protons snap back into alignment. As they do, they release a tiny bit of energy, which the MRI scanner detects. Here's the genius part: protons in different types of tissue, like fat, muscle, or brain matter, snap back at slightly different speeds and release slightly different amounts of energy. A powerful computer listens to these subtle echoes, translates the signals into a map of different tissue types, and builds a detailed cross-sectional image of your body. It can tell the difference between healthy tissue and a tumor just based on how the protons behave. So an MRI isn't really taking a picture, it's having a conversation with the atoms in your body using magnets and radio waves, and then translating that chat into an image that can save a life. It's scientific divination. At number 2, we have a material straight out of a fantasy novel: nitinol, the metal that remembers. Imagine you take a paperclip and you bend it, twist it, and deform it until it's unrecognizable. Now what if you could just dip it in warm water and watch it magically snap right back to its original, perfect paperclip shape? That's not a special effect. That's the real-world property of a shape memory alloy called nitinol. It's a solid object that literally holds a memory of its form. This magic trick is possible because of something called a phase transition. Nitinol, an alloy of nickel and titanium, has two different solid crystal structures depending on its temperature. When it's cool, it's in its martensite phase. In this state, the crystal structure is soft and easily bent. You can tie a nitinol wire in a knot, and it will just stay that way. But when you heat it past a certain temperature, sometimes just to body temperature, the alloy undergoes a rapid transformation into its austenite phase. This phase has a rigid crystal structure that corresponds to the original shape the metal was trained to remember. The transition is so forceful that the material will physically move itself back into that preset form. This is way more than just a cool party trick. This technology is used everywhere. Those indestructible glasses frames that you can bend and twist? That's nitinol. More importantly, it has revolutionized medicine. Doctors use nitinol stents to treat blocked arteries. The stent is cooled, compressed into a thin shape, and threaded into a blood vessel. Once it's in place, the patient's own body heat warms the nitinol, causing it to expand back to its original shape and prop the artery open. Nitinol is proof that even something as mundane as a piece of metal can hold a secret that borders on enchantment, with a physical memory encoded right into its atomic structure. And now, for the #1 technology that proves science is secretly magic. This one is so powerful it's like we found the universe's source code. We're talking about CRISPR-Cas9. The magic of CRISPR is the closest humanity has ever come to a real spell of transformation. It's a technology that lets scientists find a specific gene inside the trillions of letters of DNA in a living organism, cut it out, and even replace it with a new one. It is a biological find and replace function for the book of life itself, with the potential to cure genetic diseases, wipe out viruses, and fundamentally change what it means to be human. The secret behind this godlike power comes from a surprising place: bacteria. For billions of years, bacteria have been fighting a war against viruses. To survive, they developed a brilliant immune system. When a virus attacks, the bacterium grabs a small piece of the virus's DNA and stores it in its own genetic code in a special section called CRISPR. If that same virus ever comes back, the bacterium creates a guide molecule made of RNA that matches the stored viral DNA. This guide RNA teams up with a protein called Cas9, which acts like a pair of molecular scissors. The guide RNA is the GPS, leading the Cas9 scissors to the exact spot on the invading virus's DNA. Once it finds the match, Cas9 cuts the viral DNA, destroying the virus. In 2012, scientists realized they could hijack this ancient defense system. They figured out how to create their own custom guide RNAs in a lab. Now, instead of targeting a virus, they could program the guide RNA to seek out any gene they wanted, like the faulty gene that causes sickle cell disease or Huntington's. The guide RNA leads the Cas9 scissors to that precise spot in the human genome, makes a cut, and then scientists can either disable the bad gene or provide a new, healthy copy for the cell's natural repair systems to stitch into place. This technology is already achieving miracles. In 2025, treatments using CRISPR have been approved for severe sickle cell disease. Trials are underway for treating everything from genetic blindness and muscular dystrophy to cancer and HIV. The power to edit life itself was once the domain of gods and myths. Today, it's the domain of science. So, there you have it. 5 technologies so advanced, they feel like pure magic. From messages that travel at the speed of light and a map guided by the bending of space-time, to metals that remember their shape and the power to rewrite life itself. The truth is, science isn't about taking the wonder out of the world. It's about revealing a deeper, more incredible layer of it. The magic is real, but it doesn't come from wands or incantations. It comes from curiosity, experimentation, and our unending quest to understand how the universe works. The miracles are all around us, hiding in plain sight. What technology feels like magic to you? Let me know in the comments below, and if you loved seeing the science that powers our world, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the secrets of the universe. Thanks for watching.